parties, white-collar jerseys, disco demolition, na-na-na-na, and a .469 win percentage. Yeah, we're talking about the 1970s White Sox. Tonight, Comcast Sportsnet pays homage to the me decade, the best and, in some cases, the worst of White Sox baseball. But in all, a decade Sox fans won't soon forget. It's the Oakland Athletics in White Sox baseball. Next with 70s style. Can you dig it?
It's a groovy night here on the South Side for a throwback of sorts to the 70s. Now the festivities are spilling out over the fans and around the ballpark to the broadcast booths where we're just chilling out. And hi, everybody, and welcome. With Steve Stone, I'm Ken Harrell, since we get set to bring you Game 2 of this 4-game set. And also 70s night. We're going to be showing you some faces maybe you haven't seen in a long time. But getting back to baseball, Sox won that game last night in the opener here 9-4. Mark Buehrle picking up his 17th victory, his career victory against Oakland. And tonight, Edwin Jackson.
Edwin Jackson last time out threw 124 pitches in a no decision against Detroit. He'd like to keep that to a minimum. He's 4-5 this year, looking to even it up at 5-5. And he's facing a guy that hasn't thrown in the major leagues before, Graham Godfrey. 7-1 in AAA, his ERA way down there, and he was one of the stars of the Pacific Coast League. However, he's got a lot of inexperience. He uses 75% fastballs. That usually plays right into the hands of our team. Let's get the second game.
Groovy, big guy. Sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way in 70s night as well.
White Sox baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. 75 years being right here in Illinois means no one's closer to your wellness. Experience wellness everywhere. Subway. Every day at Subway, choose from many delicious regular footlong subs for just $5. Subway. Eat fresh. Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today or go to shophonda.com and find great values on a new Honda. AT&T Uverse. Find out more of what's possible at att.com. AT&T. Rethink possible. And by United. Proud to fly the Chicago White Sox.
broadcast. Don't miss the action. Call 1-800-XFINITY today. 58 degrees at game time. The rain. All will be clear tonight, so let's take a look at how Bob Melvin in his second game as the Oakland skipper is going to line them up. Coco Crisp leading off, and it's Pennington, Sweeney, Willingham, Matsui, Barton, Suzuki, Scott Sizemore recently acquired from Detroit, and Jemile Weeks. The Suzuki defensive setup and how they will line up behind Jackson, Pierre Rios, and Quinton in the infield. Morel, Ramirez, Beckham, and Konerko. A.J. Pierzynski gets the nod behind the plate, and the Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Edwin Jackson. Looking to go 500 with a win tonight. ERA 4.5. 64 strikeouts, just 29 walks. The umpires for the game tonight. Alfonso Marquez behind the plate. Ed Hickox is at first. Ed Rapuano is at second. And Brian O'Mora is at third. And we told you about the weather. It's 59, 77% humidity. The winds out of the north, 10 to 15 miles an hour. The forecast, rain, but not during the game. It'll hold off till much later. So they're throwing the ball around the infield. We're ready to play baseball on 70s night, and I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Hawk Harrelson.
Hi, it's Stone Pony. Thank you very much. And welcome to White Sox baseball, and welcome to 70s night here at beautiful US Cellular Field. So happy you could join us for game 2 of this 4-game set. Coco Crisp gets set to lead it off. 27-year-old right-hander, Edwin Jackson. And the first pitch of the ball game. Taken up high. Crisp comes in hitting it. 257. A couple of homers. He's driven in 20. He was 0 for 4 last evening. Outfield slightly to the left. And there's a strike.
I want to keep him off base because he's one of their most prolific base stealers. By far, the most stolen bases.
18 for 23. And that's into left field. Should be a can of corn. It is. 1 out. Edwin made a start against these guys back on May 16th. Check it. That was not May 16th. Anyway, he's 0-0 this year against them. 2-1 lifetime. With a 3.48 ERA. And here's Cliff Pennington. Hitting at 261. A's come in hitting just 239 as a club with a 3.33 team ERA. Here's the strike. One and one to count.
You might notice a different look. This is how the game was broadcast in the 70s. It's going to be for the first 3 innings. Then we'll bring you back into today's graphics.
Every now and then there's nothing going wrong going with a little retro.
No, it's kind of nice. You don't have the score bug.
I like your new do, though. I mean, I really do.
Thank you. I think I'm going to go with it.
You should.
Until my hair falls out.
Like a teenager again.
Oh, yes. To Stevie Wonder.
There's a line shot fair just inside the line by Pennington. So he'll pick up his 6th two-bagger of the season.
This fastball was away. A.J. wanted it in, and Pennington just takes it right down the line.
That'll bring up Brian Sweeney. Sweeney hitting at 290. No homers. He's driven in 6. Former Sox farmhand. And spent a little time up here with us. Brian did not play last evening. And there's first pitch strike.
They look at a pretty impressive batting average, but if you're going to play a corner outfield in the big leagues, you must be able to hit at least 20 to 25 home runs or steal 60 to 70 bases.
Well, the funny thing about Sweeney is that he's got huge power in batting practice. He can hit it as far as anybody.
Well, going back to the 70s, that's the 5 o'clock Babe Ruth, Wayne Nordhagen.
A lot of guys. A lot of guys. And that's out of play. Yeah, I remember when he hit Tucson when he first joined us when he was 19 years old. One of the best looking 19-year-olds you ever want to see in spring training, a Major League spring training camp. He hit one over everything there in right center field. I mean, over the back fence, and landed probably 40 or 50 feet on the other side of it.
The last 2 years, he hit 293 and 294 for this Oakland team, but combined, he only hit 7 home runs over both of those seasons.
And that's into left field. Pierre, a long way to go. Can't get there. Good try. Good effort.
One goes head first into that padding, and hopefully he comes away okay. Unfortunately, this ball slicing away from him all the way. Comes up short.
What Sweeney does, though, in batting practice is not that his swing changes, it's the tempo of the swing changes once from batting practice to the game. And that's out of play. In fact, there are a lot of golfers like that as well. You see them on the practice tee. Boy, they got great rhythm, great tempo in their swing. All of a sudden they go to the first tee, which is just 80 yards away. Different looking swing.
Lose it all. It's tough to bring it between the lines.
1 out, 1-2 the count. And that slider hit foul.
This is not a real good Oakland offensive team. They've got terrific pitching, although most of their starters are injured. And Bob Melvin takes over a situation that is going to take some time to turn around.
And that's a fair ball. So Sweeney is retired. Pennington into third, 2 down. And that'll bring up Josh Willingham, 32-year-old veteran. Josh was 0 for 4 last night. Comes in hitting at 234, but he has 10 homers and 39 RBIs. So he is the man in this offense that they look for production. Takes low ball 1.
Willingham hit one ball pretty hard to center field last night. Other than that, he was handled fairly easily.
And that's in the hole. So it's 1-0 A's. That's his 40th ribby.
He gets a fastball, and it catches about the outer third of the plate. And a couple of times AJ has set up, and a couple of times Edwin has missed with his fastball, and being wild in the strike zone is more damaging than being wild.
So here's Matsui, 2 for 4 with a homer last evening. Comes in at 215, just 4 homers and 22 knocked in. Well, Minnesota had a right-hander that was a pretty good pitcher. Then he came over here with us, and that's exactly what his MO was. He was wild inside the strike zone, and with us, got hit pretty hard, and that was Kevin Tappan.
And he went on to have a pretty decent career.
Yeah. But when he got hammered was when he was wild and said he had such great control. All he had to do was miss a couple inches and was right over the middle of the plate. as that's off the plate. And the count 2-0.
Tapani came to Minnesota in a 5-for-1 deal. Frank Viola going to going to the Mets. And Tapani and Rick Aguilera and David West all going to Minnesota. And that was part of their World Championship team.
There's a chopper, 3-hopper. And that'll do it. But a double by Pennington, a single by Willingham. And it is 1-0 A's.
Lampierre leading off, and it's Ramirez, Quentin, Paulie in the cleanup spot with Pierzynski, Rios, Dunn, Beckham, and Brent Morel playing third, hitting ninth. The Suzuki defense, and out behind Godfrey, Willingham, Crisp, and Sweeney left to right, with Sizemore, Pennington, Weeks, and Barton. Kurt Suzuki behind the plate, the Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Graham Godfrey. Those numbers are at Sacramento and AAA. They're pretty impressive. A 2.5 ERA, a 7-1 record. He is mostly a fastball pitcher.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. Montpierre stands in and takes ball one.
They threw the first pitch out. No, undoubtedly a souvenir.
And come back. Almost threw it away.
He was actually on the bag the first time, and in going back again, never really a great idea, because it convinces the umpire you didn't have it. And what Ed Hickok said was you had your foot on the bag in the first place. This throw almost getting away. Barton's foot is on the bag, and then he tries to go back again.
They'll bring up Alexei. Takes first pitch strike. Alexei hitting at 298. Sox hitting at 257 as a club with a 4.09 team ERA. One and one to count. Godfrey out of Moore Park, California, just 26 years old.
Was a non-roster player. Didn't pitch much at all in spring training.
Godfrey 6'3", 205 pounds. And that's out of play.
The guy that threw very well against us, Bobby Kramer, was supposed to take this start, but because he did throw an extended outing, they sent him down to the minor leagues and brought up Godfrey to start.
Well, that's just up the street there. Sacramento from Oakland.
Easy trip.
Yeah.
Same tax structure.
Out and around that one, chops it foul.
Godfrey originally drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays in the 34th round of the 2006 draft and traded to the A's with pitcher Christian Bell for Marco Scutaro.
That ball hit hard. Chris got a good jump. And he's there. So that's a hang woofum for Alexei. So with 2 out, let's check out our picks to click. Jim Angio, our director and the crew, went with Juan Pierre. Stone Pony's going with Adam Dunn. And my good friend down in Elkhart, Indiana, George Thomas, and I, we're going to go with Gordon Beckham. He of the George Thomases has got all my money on the golf course.
George must play pretty well.
He's about 7 or 8 time Indiana Open champion.
Well, that's pretty well.
He's pretty good. Here's Quentin hitting at 270. 17 homers, 46 knocked in on an 11-game hitting streak. 1 for 4 last night.
It's the first time our guys will have seen Godfrey. And he's thrown a lot of straight fastballs.
Well, they told me he's going to throw about 90-95% fastballs.
So if he does that, he doesn't have to worry about fatigue tonight, because they're going to take him out early, because that fastball is 90, 91, 92 miles an hour.
Out and around that one. Two and one. It's funny how you can have video on a guy from the minor leagues, or have your scouts who have seen him tell you about him. All of a sudden he comes to the big leagues and he's entirely different, because it's a different pitching coach. And they're going over our hitters in the pregame meeting, and they're going to tell him what they know, not what he did at Sacramento.
Well, you got to take a look at him, see which way the ball moves, and he's going to do everything Kurt Suzuki tells him to do.
And that's ball 4, and that'll bring up Paulie. Paulie, 2 for 5 last night with a homer. He comes in hitting at .318, 15 homers and 49 driven in. Paulie tied a franchise record. He has, in 8 straight games, an extra base hit, tied with Al Simmons back in 1935 when Big Al did that. That ball hit high and deep. Stretch way back at the wall. They look up. A new franchise record for extra base hits in 9 straight. You can put it on the board. Yes. It is 2-1 White Sox. Mercy.
You keep throwing that fastball and you don't establish the fact that you can get anything over the plate. And there's no doubt that Godfrey is going to have some problems tonight. 51 runs batted in on a 16th home run. The first ball fastball, and just like that, the lead.
And that's the first breaking ball he's thrown.
those towering home runs will convince you.
And the count 2-0.
First ball fastball, center cut. Not too many of these get by Paulie. Certainly none at 92.
And there is a base hit into left field. That one on a 91er. So here's Rios.
Kurt Suzuki out to have a word with Godfrey.
Alex was 2 for 5 last night. Yeah, let's watch Alex's hands. Got him higher than he has been carrying them. Started that last night.
And it worked out pretty well for him. And that was the first slider attempt that Godfrey has had tonight.
Another one. And the count evens at 1. Well, when you're going this bad this long as Alex has been struggling, you got to make some adjustments. Whether it be in the box or something mechanical. And there's a base hit. So A.J. will pull up at second, and that'll bring up Adam Dunn.
It started with 2 outs, nobody on, and then the walk to Quinton, and a fastball went out of the park, a fastball was drilled into the left field, and a fastball was drilled right back up the middle.
And if you missed last night's game, Big Adam in the 3rd inning with A.J. aboard. That's just a high fly ball for him.
And it is 6th home run. And now Ron Romanek goes to the mound. You know, in fact, he's talking to Kurt Suzuki and he's telling him, hey, you got to call something other than a fastball, because this plan is not working.
You know, it was the same back in the 70s.
It was the same thing.
The same thing.
They bring up a
Joe
guy.
Johnson.
Yeah, for the first start.
Adam hitting at 178. Takes it up high. Come on, big man. They have a shift on. Jamal Weeks out there in short right field. Outfield really spread out. Huge gap out there in left center. Two and 1 to count. And if you're just tuning in, you see the different graphics than you're used to seeing. Retro 70s. First 3 innings. There's a strike to even the count at 2. Yankees leading Cleveland 6-0. That game in the top of the 5th in the Bronx. Good rip. Just underneath it.
27th pitch that Gottfried has used so far. Try to get out of his first inning.
Broken back. So the count hangs at 2-2 with 2 in here in the bottom of the first. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for our Sox. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors for their A's.
Ozzie liking the early offense so far.
Close. Full count. Ball 4 base hit, big man. There's There's a shot. Foul. Just foul. Dadgummit.
Well, he got the low fastball that he wanted after a succession of fastballs. That most likely would have been a couple more runs batted in, but for about a foot with Ed Hickox on the call. Hickox looking at it, and unfortunately it hooks. Well, it's maybe 4 feet foul.
Shaquille O'Neal foot.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those, yeah.
And that's ball 4. That'll load him up for Beckham. So the second walk of the inning. First one started this thing off. That 2 out. Nobody on, walk to Quentin.
Big Shaq had a size 22 sneaker.
The biggest shoe I have ever seen was down in Texas. I went down there to buy some boots in a shoe store. They would have to be custom made, obviously. It was Andre the Giant.
Well, he weighed 550 pounds.
I think they were size 26s. They were that long, that wide, probably 9 inches wide. I've never seen anything like it.
Never seen anything like him.
So here's Beckham hitting at 244, 6 homers and 21 driven in. Takes that slider off the plate, ball 1.
I thought his career was in the movies after Princess Bride, but it didn't work out for him.
Boy, he was a big man. Goes right through that one. Gordon took his head off of it. Good pitch to hit. And a good take.
Early in the season, Gordon probably would be swinging at that pitch.
He would have. 2 weeks ago, he didn't swing at it.
And now he's seeing the ball a lot better. And he took it.
2 weeks ago, it had been a 1-2 count. Pulled his head again. You got to stay on it, big man.
This one happened to catch the strike zone.
Just enough. All right. We got 2. It's 2-1 good guys. Throughout the show, we will show you a baby picture of a White Sox player that was born in the 70s, and then we will ask you to guess this future big leaguer. Here's our first picture. We'll give you a hint. He was drafted by our Sox in 1998. Then we'll give you a minute or two to think about it.
Looks just a little different now.
So here's Derek Barton. Takes first pitch strike. Barton hitting at .217, no homers, 17 knocked in. Well, when we played him out in Oakland, he was red hot. And that's popped up left side. Grant.
Their big problem is at the power position, first base. Between Connor Jackson and Derek Barton, they have a grand total of 1 home run.
Well, no. There's Suzuki.
You tell me the computers don't always work?
That's about it. Somebody got a program.
Occasionally.
244. 4 homers and 14 knocked in. And the count 1-1. Outfield straight up, spread out. Bit of a gap out there in left center.
Suzuki is one of their more consistent players. He gets some big hits, and he's very good behind the plate.
Got a cookie right there and was too quick. Too quick. He gone. 2 down.
First strikeout of the night for Edwin. Throws him what looks like a slider. He missed it by plenty. Now the guy the Tigers thought was their second baseman of the future.
That was the promo.
Sizemore wound up getting traded here to Oakland,
where he's 2 for 5. And pretty good pitch. Didn't get it.
Left-handed pitcher David Percy going to the Tigers. Sizemore killed him in Toledo at 408. They've only 222 with the Tigers.
2-1. That ball hit hard. Hang up. It will. Thank you very much. That'll do it. 1-2-3. Sox lead at 2-1. Tickets to a White Sox game as they take on the Cubs. You can also throw the first pitch for a chance at the $1 million. $1 million, folks, for your chance to win other great White Sox prizes. Go to tastepoints.com. First pitch to Brent Morel. Taken for a ball. Brent at 259, a homer. He's driven in 13. Slider misses, 2-0.
That was a pitch that Godfrey was working on in his warm-ups before this inning started. Going a few more sliders, trying to get a feel for it so he can give the Sox hitters a different look.
3-0. Pierre on deck. There's one.
Coco Crisp a step toward left center when Morel hits a lot of balls to right center.
And a full count.
He can go get him in center when he's healthy. He's one of the better center fielders around, but he's had a lot of injuries over the last few years.
And that's into right center. And nobody's going to get it. Well, Brent's going to give it a go. No, he pulls up. You never make the first or the last out at third. So leadoff double.
Not a real good defensive setup for a guy with this kind of power to the opposite field. And he drives this ball. No chance. Sweeney gets to it, hits the cutoff man, and keeps Morel with his 7th double of the season.
And here's Pierre. He's got a job to do. Sizemore at the cut of the grass at third. Outfield short, swung around to the left. Huge gap in right center. Barton off the line and got even with the bag as he fakes the bunt and takes the strike.
Sizemore normally is a second baseman by trade. Son of Teddy Sizemore, former Major League, very good player.
Yeah, the button is going foul. So 0-2 the count. And a reminder, you can join the Chi Sox mobile group by texting Paul. That's Paul, P-A-U-L, to 244-769 for a chance to win an autographed Paul Konerko bat. Chi Sox mobile users get special offers, exclusive deals, contest info, and more. Message and data rates apply. So text Paul to Chi Sox 244-769. Oh, 0-2 the count. And slaps that one into the seats. And that'll get the job done. Couldn't do it with a bunt, but he does it with the ground ball. So one out, and let's go back to our picture. Who did you guess this future big leaguer was? Answer.
I'm surprised he didn't have a beard. Mark Buehrle.
I bet he had a big truck, though.
Yes. Well, he never dreamt that he would wind up with a truck the size of the one he has now.
See, all the guys coming over. One's really been scuffling. All the guys coming over trying to pump him up. That's what teammates do.
It was a good at bat. I mean, he normally doesn't pull the ball, but he knew he had to once he fell to 2 strikes with the inability to get the bunt down.
It was a terrific at bat after he took the first strike and then bunted the second one foul. And that's a Doc Edwards shot. So Alexei can't get it done. And it's up to Quentin. And for those of you who don't know who Doc Edwards was, he was a former catcher, former teammate of mine, as a matter of fact, and then a manager. He managed Cleveland. He would get up there and he would take these mighty swings and hit those little bloop pop-ups back to the pitcher, about 15, 20 feet high. He'd do it 2 or 3 times a game and he wouldn't think anything about it.
All you got to do is catch and be a good one.
He was a good catcher. That breaking ball high. Quentin started off that 2-run first with that 2-out walk. And he's got the catbird seat. Paulie on deck. And that's foul back. And the count evens at 2. Back to the middle. Here comes Weeks. Bare hands. Nice play. Jamal Weeks saves a run with a barehanded underneath toss. Meanwhile, there's still 2-1 Sox. This season as the winner of the series takes home the BP Crosstown Cup. White Sox versus Cubs here at US Cellular Field June 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Jamal Weeks will lead it off here in the top of the 3rd. Switch hitter. One of 3 in this lineup. You got Weeks, Crisp, and Pennington. 1-1 the count. He was 1 for 4 with an RBI last night. Had a little duck snort. It fell in.
His brother Ricky Weeks with the Milwaukee Brewers. #1 draft choice for the Brewers, as was Jemile Weeks for these Oaklands.
There's the strike.
Difference in size is startling.
That ball hit hard in the center field. It's over the head. Alex did not read it very well. So Weeks on his way to third, and here's the throw. Safe.
Pretty good effort on the throw after Rios hit Ramirez. But he got turned around, and the toughest ball to judge is the one hit right over your head. Alex, slow start, turns the wrong way, and no chance as Weeks shows you his speed with a leadoff triple.
It's his second triple. It's being called up. And here's Crisp. He went out to Juan Pierre. Takes that high.
It's early in the ball game. Ozzie feels that there's a few more runs to be scored off Godfrey. That's why he's playing the infield back in the middle. Conceding the run.
Count evens at 1. Now Weeks, since being called up, has had 12 at bats. He has 5 hits, 1 double, 2 triples. And that's out of play. So Edwin on top, 1-2. Weeks attended the University of Miami, where he was the first team All-America selection. 2-2 the count. Take him right here. That's popped up. Alexei. 1 out. And that'll bring up Pennington, who doubled and scored in the first. Got a fastball up out over the plate and hit a line shot right down the left field line. Outfield slightly to the right, gap in left center, and that'll be a base hit. Boy, when you can feel your position as a pitcher, you can really help yourself.
And if you can't, you cost yourself some runs. This is the glove side, and Edwin doesn't break well. Gordon realizing that Pennington has pretty good speed, so it's a bare hand do or die play. Couldn't make it. Run driven in by Pennington is 18th, and a tie game.
And here's Sweeney. He grounded out to Konerko. Now, needless to say, Edwin is just not a good defender.
Well, he turns himself around, and more times than not, he's in no position to make those plays.
That's the reason he's not a good defender.
Very difficult to change a pitcher's finish, to get him to square up on his follow-through once he's established his pattern.
That'll be a wild pitch.
Not much of a chance for A.J. on this one. Edwin throws his 6th wild pitch of the year. That leads the staff in that department. That ball bounced a good 3 inches before the plate.
Totals on the board identical at 2-4-0 here in the top of the 3rd inning. This will pitch number 44 for Jackson. There's a chopper 2 hopper. 2 down. So some sluggish defense here in the top of the 3rd. So far has given them 1. The misread by Alex in center, and then the non-performance on that little soft ground ball by Jackson.
Nice stop by A.J. or Oakland has the lead. Edwin buries a lot of those sliders in the dirt. So you know before the game that you're going to be put to the test.
Well, Willingham had that 2-out RBI single in the hole between 3rd and short. Takes a strike.
It was a hanging slider, and the break was that it didn't break because it would have broken right over the plate.
To Willingham, that had to almost look like a backup slider.
You see where A.J. wants it. He wants it low and away, and this ball does essentially back up.
And the count 1-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, and a 2-2 tie. It's full with Matsui on deck. Ball hits sharply, and that'll do it. They get a gift run. We are tied at 2. night. 2-4-0 for both teams. That is 70s nights. 70s night here at beautiful US Cellular Field. So Paulie will start it off.
Even Southpaw has a 70s hair.
Paulie back in the first inning with Quentin, who drew a 2-out walk. This is what he did. First ball, fastball.
He's now homered in 6 of his last 9 games. That's home run 381.
And he has had an extra base hit in 9 consecutive games, breaking the White Sox franchise record set by Al Simmons back in 1935. 21 to count.
That's pretty tough to do, considering it's taken this long to break it.
And he starts us off right there with a sharp single in the center.
Another fastball to the best fastball hitter around.
Well, probably, certainly 2 of the top 5 fastball hitters in this league are Konerko and Dustin Pedroia. And Juan Bautista is putting himself into that category, although right now he's hitting everything. Bautista's hitting sliders, curveballs, mistakes, fastballs.
Since we've left, he's cooled down somewhat. But when he hits it, they do go a long way.
Now Bautista hitting 345. He was hitting about 360 when we were up there. It was 356 somewhere along that area. Got 20 home runs. He's figured it out. Softly hit and rack him up. No, a bad throw, but they get him. So rack him up.
That's a very good way for a first baseman to wind up with a broken arm. We've seen it happen a few times, that throw up the line where you have to extend your arm and have the runner run into it. Not a real good throw by Weeks. Barton does a nice job of coming off the bag. And the tag for 2.
Curveball strike. Alex single back through the middle. Slider, no. And there's a sharp base hit. So he's going to make the turn. Chris well, he couldn't do anything with it anyway. With his speed, that's a double.
Kind of surprised, though, that he would just lob it back in. Sometimes you never know. Maybe the runner slips. He does something. Coco goes over into right center field. Another fastball. This one out over the plate. And Rios now squaring up a lot of pitches.
Well, 4 hits since he's raised his hands from where he was. It's hard to be a bar arm hitter in the big leagues. And by bar arm, I mean that left arm being straight when you're standing at the plate, holding the bat.
I talked with Greg Walker about it today. And he just said that the habits Alex was getting into absolutely stopped him from doing what he did in his glory days with Toronto. I mean, he's a 285 lifetime hitter. And he's gotten them back to thinking about what he did then and feeling like what he did then.
0-2 the count. Well, it's a tough scenario, and that's the toughest uniform job in baseball, is a hitting coach. And the scenario being a guy signs a $75 million contract, and all of a sudden he struggles and you want to change him, and he don't want to change because that's what got him the $75 million contract. You can't really help somebody until they get to the point that they come to you and say, help.
Well, 198 is about as rock bottom as a 285 lifetime hitter is going to be.
He went down lower than that.
Greg Walker worked with him, talked to him, worked with him some more.
Curveball got him. And that'll retire the side. 2-2. We've been retroing back to the 70s with our graphics, and now poof, up to date, current, there it is. A little bit of difference.
Colorful, creative.
What else?
Just, I mean, spectacular.
Speechless, huh?
Oh, we're so happy to be in this era, because otherwise we'd be gone in another era.
Matsui takes strike one. He grounded out to Beckham. They got the shift on for him, modified a little bit, like say on the one step on the first base side of second. 2-1 to count.
He came to this country in the toughest of all circumstances, going into New York City on a team of stars, and became as valuable as just about anybody on that team.
Well, you talk to the guys who played with him, and they'll tell you, game on the line, 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, they wanted him at the plate.
Well, they brought over Big Matsui, that's him. They brought over Little Matsui, who was a second baseman who had all kinds of back problems. But this guy really became a star in New York.
Full count. The pitch number 56.
Career batting average well up in the 280s. That's here. Staggering numbers in Japan.
So the walk right there. But right now it's time for guess this future big leaguer. Your hint this time, he was traded from the Mariners or the White Sox for Joe Borchard. And we'll have the answer in a minute or two for you. Again, these are White Sox players born in the 70s. So Jackson wanted that pitch, didn't get it. From Marquez. First walk of the game. And Barton high in the center field. One out.
And what about over pitch number 58? Remember last time, 124 pitches in a no decision against Detroit. Detroit takes a few more pitches than these Athletics.
Well, if you want to look at it on the other side of that page, these Athletics can't afford to be taking pitches, so strikes.
Well, they don't have the thunder that Tiger team has.
Not hardly. Suzuki struck out his first trip.
Tigers trailing to Seattle 3-2 going into the bottom of the 7th.
There's a good strike. And the count 1-2. That's Bedard against Brad Penny. Smoke is homered. Figueroa is homered. And Victor Martinez has homered. Oh, yes. It's all good. Nice play. Brent on a rocket off the bat of Suzuki. That's a hang with him, Kirk.
Suzuki crushes this ball. And Morel with good timing. And we'll show you the look. Slow it down. That's some good hang time.
So here's Sizemore. He hit a bullet right to Alex Rios in center. There's the strike. Two 4-0 for their guys, 2 6-0 for our guys here in the top of the 4th. And that's nice play by Beckham, but the throw can't get him. Another again. Well, when you can't feel your position, it really puts you in jams.
Sizemore goes right back up the middle. Watch what Edwin does. Can't get the glove up. And Gordon electing to go to first base. I thought he might have had a shot at Matsui, who doesn't run real well, and Alexi was at second, but inning stays alive.
For Jamal Weeks, who tripled, hit a ball right over the head of Alex, who did not get a good read on it. Takes first pitch strike.
Talking with a lot of these people from Oakland, including Mike Gallego, they think that Jamal Weeks has a chance to be a pretty good player before it's over.
Nice stop. Can he get in? No. So his second hit.
Sizemore with decent speed. Weeks with very good speed. Brent looks at second. No play there. Has to go to first. Gets it over as quickly as he can, but Weeks beats it by an eyelash.
So here's Coco Crisp. He has gone out to left and going out to Alexei on a pop-up. Two outs, Sox packed with Oakland guys.
Good speed on the bases.
One and one to count. And the count 1-2. And a reminder, you can win tickets to see the Sox on the Cubs. Take them on. And the chance to deliver the starting lineup card during the Sox Cup Series at US Cellular Field June 20th, 21st, and 22nd. So look in your June 19th Chicago Tribune for more details. Two out on the 1-2 pitch. That's right at Rios. Hang with them. They threaten, can't score. We're still tied at 2.
Fourth meal from Taco Bell. Open 1 a.m. or later.
And our disco truck. See that disco ball up there and all the guys dancing? Jim Anjo in the middle, our director, Mike Leary. Boy, they're just chilling out down there. But we showed you earlier a picture of one of our players. Can you guess this future big leaguer? Well, it is Matt Thornton, born September 15th, 1976. So here's Beckham, struck out his first trip. Got a 2-2 tie. Totals on the board identical at 2-6-0. One and one to count.
Both of these pitchers have given up 6 hits, but both have only given up 2 runs so far.
All right, 2 coming in the first inning. A 2-run homer by Konerko. Gordon's upset with himself. He had some good pitches to hit and just could not get the bat on it.
Gottfried, for the most part, has stayed away, and Gordon has not gone the other way.
There was a breaking ball. And that's out number 1.
Here's our AT&T trivia question. And it is, what 2 Hall of Famers played for the White Sox during the 1970s? Think about that. We'll get back to you a little later in the game with the retro answer.
So here's Brent Morel. He doubled to lead off the second inning, and we could not get him in. Takes the curveball strike.
Well, since that first inning, Suzuki has called a lot more curveballs and sliders.
And that fastball hit in the upper tank. And now out of the upper tank into the LG Skyline Club seats. So the count 0-2.
It's made that fastball look a little bit better.
Well, you better have something off speed to make it look quicker. Just got a piece of that one.
Here's our AT&T UVerse multi-view. Figures if he throws him another breaking ball, he's going to pull it. Right down at Sizemore at third, so he's in your picture.
And that's in the center field. Crisp is there. 2 down. And Bacardi at the Park is now open, offering a full menu from Gibson's Restaurant Group. With or without a game ticket, Bacardi at the Park is open to fans at 11 a.m. before all home games, located right across the street here on 35th Street. Bacardi at the Park. Give it a shot. It is good. Juan Pierre's 0 for 2. He tried to bunt in the bottom of the first. Then in the second, after that leadoff double by Morel, did a good job getting him over to third. Sizemore, quick hands right there. It didn't take long. A 1-2-3 inning. We might be letting this young Graham Godfrey settle in a little bit.
Is Belton, Bill Melton, who led the 70s in home runs in a White Sox uniform. In our Ford home run replay, we flash back to September 30th of 1971 when Bill Melton became the first Sox player to win a home run title, belting his 33rd home run on the final day of the regular season versus Milwaukee. Melton hit 129 home runs in the 70s, more than any other White Sox player.
And right here it's the top of the 5th. In a 2-2 tie. Pennington to lead it off. He's 2 for 2 with an RBI and a run scored.
And with the middle of the order in a tie game, this is a good man to keep off base.
And a slicing foul. Top of the 8th at Citizens Bank Ballpark. Phillies shutting out the Cubs 7-0. Starters were Halladay and Zambrano. There's a strike and the count 1-2.
That one missed a little bit high and wide. AJ wants it inside. Not so inside.
And a reminder that you can text Subway to 29653, and if you are the 500 texter, you could win $5 footlong subs from Subway. It's full. Softly hit. Takes a nice little bowling book bounce for Alexei. The lead man down.
Here was our AT&T trivia question. We asked you a little earlier what 2 Hall of Famers played for the White Sox during the 1970s. And the answer, Louis Aparicio, 1970, and a goose. He was my last roommate in professional baseball. He convinced me I should live alone. Goose, a Hall of Famer, and a great one.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Sweeney. He's 0 for 3. 3 ground balls. 1 to first, 1 to second, and 1 to third.
Alexei, here it comes next time. Be ready.
There's Willingham. He's hit the ball hard twice. Once a 2-out RBI single in the first. Then a hard shot to Ramirez in the third. Over into our dugout. Texas leading Minnesota 8-1, top of the 4th at Target Field.
They laid it on Brian Dunsing tonight. He was a starter in that one.
One and one to count. Milwaukee shutting out St. Louis 2-0, bottom of the 5th at Miller Park. Had him off balance out in front. 1-2 the count.
That was a good moving fastball, and he got it up there 97. Pitching back, get a little something extra, try to throw it by him inside.
See what they do here. That's low. Full count. And that was the 85th pitch thrown by Edwin. Here in 4 2/3. He's going to throw pitches, a lot of them.
Done that his whole career.
To Hopper. Nice 1-2-3 inning. We're halfway home, tied at 2. As we get set to go to the bottom of the fifth inning, 2-6-0 for both clubs on 70s night here at beautiful US Cellular Field. For our guys, it'll be Alexei, Quentin, and Konerko. Alexei 0 for 2. And that's by fair ball by Sizemore, who was playing in, so he starts it off. The leadoff double, that's his 16th.
Alexei gets a hanging slider. That one didn't do much. Sizemore off the line. This ball drilled by him. And a promising way to start the fifth inning in this tie game.
So here's Quentin. He has walked, scored. Then he hit back in the second inning with Morel on third. 2 out. He hit a ball very hard off the glove of Godfrey. Jamal Weeks came in, barehanded, and threw him out. Carlos trying to go to the right side. Once again trying to go to the right side. And the count 0-2. Outfield for the most part straight up.
And the break was that ball bounced up and hit Carlos after it bounded off Kurt Suzuki. And Alexei could not read it at second base. See it here. Bounces up, hits off the helmet. Carlos is waving him, but Alexei just didn't read it.
Well, Alexei did the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, he couldn't read it because he didn't know where it's going to carry him off his helmet.
Nope. If you can't read it, you can't go. The 1-2. That's going to get the job done, and everybody, here comes Alexei. He'll score. As the ball got away from the first baseman on a bad throw, so it's a 3-2 Sox lead.
I think it's going to be hitting an error. That ball hit the heel of Carlos Quentin. That's a tough play. That ball takes a right hop on him. Hits the heel of Quentin. Yep. And bounded away.
So Alexei scores, and here's Paulie. Paulie, a 2-run homer in the first. Then he led off the third with a sharp single to center. Takes it up high. And he's got the catbird seat at 2-0.
Bullpen up and going. It's Michael Wirtz.
The slider man.
Well, he can throw a few of them. He's like the latter-day Larry Anderson.
3-0 the count. Turn him loose. If he wants it. Oh, he just, dadgummit, just missed it.
Got one right down the middle.
He just missed it. About a 32nd of an inch. So Romanek out. And we'll check a few scores for you. Texas, as I mentioned, leading Minnesota 8-1. Top of the ninth in Detroit, 3-2 Seattle. Bottom of the seventh in the Bronx, 11-2 Yankees over Cleveland. Baltimore shutting out Tampa Bay 5-0. Bottom of the fifth at Oriole Park. Boston 4, Toronto 1. Bottom of the eighth up at the Rogers Center in Canada. Marlins leading the D-backs 6-4. Bottom of the eighth down in Florida. Now 8-1 Atlanta over Houston. Top of the fifth down at the Juice Box. So here's AJ. Curveball outside. AJ is 1 for 2. 3-8-0 for us. 2-6-1 for them. And the count 2-0. Milwaukee now leading St. Louis 4-0 after 5 at Miller Park. And there's a base hit. He's going to make the turn. Here's the throw swing. He's got a good arm off the mark. Gets by. So AJ now moves into second. Good aggressive base running by Quentin.
AJ with his second hit takes it by Weeks. Sweeney decides that he's going to try to throw out Carlos Quentin. Good aggressive base running, putting the pressure on the defense. And no way you can handle that hop as it gets by Sizemore. So Melvin comes out. That's going to be it for Godfrey. And we're going to go to the bullpen, and we'll be back. Live only on CSNChicago.com. Brought to you by The Great Escape. Our Toyota call to the pen is Michael Wirtz. Wirtz does not have a record, does have a fine .255 ERA on for the 20th time. No saves because he's been used in the middle. And he inherits runners at second and third. Nobody out. One out. Excuse me.
And here's Rios, who's 2 for 2. A single and a double. Got his hands higher. And there's that little slide ball from Wirtz. 0-1 to count.
You're going to see a few of those.
He's got a nice tilt on that slider.
That's what's kept him in the big leagues all these years.
Yeah. Checks it up and the count very quickly 0-2. So now Alex in the big hole. You got to cinch it up and hunker down right here, big boy.
Just need a ground ball in the middle infield. Just a little contact. They're going to concede the run.
He came close to making a real big mistake right there. That'll get the job done. Nice at bat right there. Quentin with that aggressive base running scores, and it's a 4-2 Sox lead.
RBI number 15 for Alex Rios. Takes a slider, takes it right back up the middle with the infield back. An insurance run. That one charts a Godfrey, and it's a 2-run game.
That was a good at bat, being down 0-2 in the count. So here's the big man. Here comes Canyon. Pick him up. Adam, he has walked. Then struck out. They made a good pitch with a backdoor curveball to get him in the third. Nice block by Suzuki. We got two of the best in the American League at blocking balls in the dirt. And Pierzynski and Suzuki in this game tonight. There's a strike. Second of this 4-game set. Tomorrow night, Johnny Danks against Gio Gonzalez. So make your plans to be with us here at beautiful U.S. Cellular Field. Get down. It will. It is 5-2. Attaboy, big man.
RBI number 26. Another slider. That ball just hung right in the middle of the plate. Adam breaks the bat, drives home a run.
And here's Beckham. He's 0 for 2. 5-10-0 for us. 2-6-1 for them. Fastball on the outside corner.
Close the book on Graham Godfrey. Major League debut, 4 1/3, 5 runs, 9 hits, couple of walks, couple of strikeouts.
One and one to count. Strike on the inside corner. Gordon didn't care for that. And the count 1-2. Cubs were losing 7-0. It is now 7-5. Top of the 8th with 1 out and 2 on. Ball gets away. They get him. But a crooked number goes up on that board. We'll go to the 6th leading by 3. Place your bids on these 1970s style jerseys we're wearing during the broadcast tonight to benefit White Sox charities. They will be autographed and game worn by us. So visit whitesox.com and click the auctions link to place your bid beginning June 27th. I like these jerseys. These are nice.
These were good looking in the road jerseys that year. Much better looking. Powder blue with the same pinstripe. Very handsome.
Meanwhile, we had a free spot go up on the board in the bottom of the fifth. We lead it 5-2. It'll be Matsui, Barton, and Suzuki to face Edwin Jackson, who has thrown 8 through 5. Got the shift on for Hideki as he tries to go the other way. Going that way, and it's foul. Thank you very much. Just foul.
That's a double if it lands anywhere close to fair territory. With nobody home on the left side. And Brian O'Nora standing right there, clearly foul.
So the count 0-2 to the 36-year-old veteran. So he gets a cookie on 0-2 and rips it into right field for the leadoff single.
In sticking with our 70s theme night, we take a look at our Home Depot doing more on defense, and we show you the White Sox Gold Glove winners from the 70s. Here's the list. Louis Aparicio in 70, Ken Berry in 1970, Jim Cott, who had a succession of them here in 74-75, and Jim Spencer, who was my first baseman on the Southside Hitmen in 1977.
So here's Barton. He has popped to third and going out to center. Checks it up. Can they turn it? Oh, wow. Close. Good try.
We'll take another look. Morel gets rid of it quickly. Gordon gets rid of it quickly. And he beats it.
Yes, he did.
By a half step.
He beat it. Good call by Ed Hickox. So here's Suzuki. He has struck out, and then he hit a screaming Mimi to Morel's left. Timed it perfectly and made a good catch on it. And that is just foul. Outfield straight up, spread out. One and one to count. The 27-year-old catcher. Two and one. And that is Jackson's career mark against these guys. 2-1 with a 3.48 ERA. When trying to even up his record at 5-5 this year. And that's a soft pop-up. Watch out. Carlos is there. 2 down. Sizemore. 1 for 2. And the count 2-0. And that's right back through the middle. Sizemore.
I still think he's got a chance to be a pretty good player. There was a while where Detroit felt he would be their everyday second baseman, and then he got hurt. Spent some time in the minor leagues, came back, didn't really hit very much, might not have been entirely healthy. But tonight, he swung the bat very well in 3 at-bats.
Did it hard all 3 times, so now tying one at the plate, and Jamal Weeks, who has tripled and had an infield single. 5'9", 160 pounds. Brings a lot of energy with him.
Well, it's not very usual for 2 brothers to be first-round draft picks. We've got the Upton brothers. Justin was the first pick in the draft. BJ was the second pick in the first round.
That's high, 1-1.
And Ricky, his older brother, was the second pick in the draft in the first round for the Brewers.
Juan Pierre. Yes, he's there, makes the catch. That'll retire the side. They have a little mile threat, can't score. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th, leading 5-2. Close out this series against the A's and this homestand in an afternoon matchup here at U.S. Cellular Field. White Sox A's Sunday at 12:30, only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend. And Seattle has defeated the Tigers 3-2.
And it appears the Indians are going to go down to an ignominious defeat, which means there's ground to be gained. And there's that blue road jersey from 1973.
So Brent Morel, 1 for 2, a double, leading off the second inning. And he also has gone out to center. Takes ball 1. 5 runs, 10 hits, no errors for our guys. 2 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for their guys.
Brent looks away. He's going to get one out there.
Got a good pitch to hit. Took it.
Another slider.
There's a chopper to Hopper. And 1 out.
Pennington has a very strong arm at shortstop.
Winning pitcher in that Seattle Tiger game was Chris Way. Loser, Brad Penny. And League picked up his 18th save.
Good stuff. It was awfully hard.
With good movement. 0-1 the count to Juan Pierre, who is 0 for 3. Now make it 0 for 4. So 2 down. And a reminder, the Aussie plan includes your choice of 13 games, including the BP Crosstown Cup Series against the Cubs, and also matchups. The matchups against the Twins, the Yankees, and the Red Sox. Aussie plan is available right now, so call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com. Here's Alexei. He started off that 3-run fifth with a double right down the third baseline. Two and 0. Marlins beat the D-backs 6-4 down in Florida. Mets over the Pirates 8-1 PNC. High into left field. And that's a quick 1-2-3 inning. We're into the 7th, leading by 3.
flashback to June 22nd of 1977 when Richie Zisk hit a blast into the center field bleachers against Detroit. Zisk, only the second White Sox player to ever reach the bleacher section. The first, Dick Allen, August 23rd of 1972. I was right there in those beautiful uniforms. Chris Sale comes into the ball game. Chris at 2-0, the ERA 4.44. It's been sinking lately. On for the 24th time. He inherits a 3-run lead, and the night is done for Edwin Jackson, who, if this lead holds, he'll even his record at 5-5.
It'll be the top of the order. Crisp, Pennington, both those guys switch hitters, and then Sweeney is scheduled. Crisp 0 for 3. Well, you threw one into those center field bleachers, didn't you?
It would have been, but the fan had it hit off his hands. The umpires made a ruling, and it didn't have, obviously, replays. They said it hit high off the wall, which was not right.
The bullet single into left, so the leadoff man aboard.
And so Jim Rice got credited with a triple instead of a home run. I would have loved to have thrown one into the bleachers. I mean, it went as far as it was going to go. It was 463. It went every bit of that.
Here's Pennington. He's 2 for 3. A double. A run scored in the first inning. Then he had an infield single that knocked in a run in the third. That's low. Tries to bunt it. And the count 1-1.
Pretty good idea. But a tough ball to bunt, moving that much in the mid-90s. The bullpen up and going again. Joey Devine, who spent the better part of 2 years injured after being a #1 draft choice of the Atlanta Braves.
High and wide, 2-1. That's trouble. Here's the throw to second base, off the mark. So Ducks on the pond, nobody out. There's 2 solid base hits. A single by Crisp, a double by Pennington and Chris Sale, and a whole bunch of hot water.
Pennington with his 3rd hit of the night. So he's having a big night from both sides of the plate. That ball at 95, pretty straight and down and out over the plate. No chance at all for Alex, who can't really set his feet. So Pennington with good speed hustles in a second. Now the middle of the order comes up, and we're going to find a pinch hitter. It's Connor Jackson for Ryan Sweeney.
So Jackson, who was 0 for 4 last night. And here comes Coop. Pennington's been swinging that bat well. Batting .312 coming into the night over his last 27 games.
Well, the bullpen is up and going, and Don Cooper is going to take as much time as he can out on the mound until Alfonso Marquez goes out there and tries to break it up. Bruni and Thornton loosening in the pen. Matt loosening his belt.
So 2 on, second and third, nobody out. 5-2 White Sox here in the top of the 7th.
Connor Jackson 2 for 9 with 2 RBIs as a pinch hitter.
Cues that one. So that's going to get in crisp, and it's a 5-3 ball game.
And AJ, just in case, was pointing out to Gordon Beckham to go to first base. That ball had a lot of spin on it, and Crisp is very fast.
And Pennington didn't know what to do. He stayed at second.
Yep. That's a break.
So it's a big break.
Well, the one thing AJ is very aware of what's going on at any given time. And he goes out there pointing to first base. And for whatever reason, Pennington stayed at second.
And here's Willingham. He's 1 for 3. Had an RBI single in the first inning, coming with 2 out. Well, there's not a guy who plays the game, who knows what's going on during the game better than AJ. That's into right field. So because he did not go, up to now he has not scored.
Saved a run to this point.
And while I have a moment, again, it's time for our guest, this future big leaguer. And this White Sox is a 2-time All-Star coming in those years coming in 2002 and 2006. And again, these are White Sox players born in the 70s. Who is that? So here is Matsui, 1 for 2.
Could that have been Ramon Castro?
Maybe.
Okay. Well, born in the 70s, I think.
Big breaking ball strike. So the Phillies have defeated the Cubs. Another breaking ball. A ball, a strike, 2 out here in the top of the 7th. Another one.
Well, good hard sliders, low and away. To this point, Matsui looks overmatched.
Well, he can look so bad on a couple of pitches, and then all of a sudden
lay the bat out there and rack it.
That's it. He gone. We catch a big break right there. They only score 1. 7th inning stretch is 5-3 White Sox.
it centers around Dick Allen and that MVP season of 1972, where he led the American League in home runs. This was one strong man who swung a 40-ounce bat and had no problem getting it through the strike zone.
He was something. We played against each other coming up in the minor leagues, and I love Richie. He was a great competitor, great underneath the radar player in every aspect of the game. People just talk about his hitting.
Terrific base runner.
One of the best. Terrific defender. As here's Quentin to face Joey Devine.
Joey Devine has had pretty nice comeback after a lot of injuries. Devine comes in at 0-1, but the ERA under 2 for the 11th time. Connor Jackson stays in the game defensively and right, taking over for Sweeney, who we pinch hit for.
And there's a good way to start it by Quentin picking up his second hit. He's 2 for 3 with a couple of runs scored.
Well, Dick Allen told me one night that every time Mike Cuellar has ever faced him, he started him off with a slow curveball. And he said, if he starts me off with a slow curveball tonight, I'm going to hit it over the roof. I was watching on the first pitch, big slow curveball like Cuellar could throw, and Dick on the first pitch hit it over the roof.
Didn't surprise me.
I think that was like the 11th ball ever hit over the roof in the old Comiskey Park.
Well, we played against each other in the Eastern League. He was at Williamsport. I was at Binghamton. And I want to tell you, he looked like almost like Jamal Weeks, only a little taller.
I was going to say a little taller.
Yeah, but he couldn't hit the ball. If he hit the ball 400 feet, that was his best bowl. He only hit like 18 home runs in that bandbox at Williamsport. And then we go to spring training the next year in the big club. He goes to Clearwater with Phillies. I'm in Bradenton with Kansas City. And I see this guy in the batting cage, and he's hitting them up in the light towers there at Clearwater. And I said, who in the world is that? And there's a ground ball, should be. And rack him up. So 2 out. Paulie now 2 for 4 with a 2-run homer coming in the first inning. And that'll bring up AJ. Then I walk up to the cage, and it was Richie. I said, Dick, what happened? You've been lifting weight? He said, no. He said, I didn't do anything. He just grew up.
He told me he never touched a weight.
No. He said, I just grew up. Well, you couldn't lift weights back in those days. In our time zone, if you were a position player and they caught you lifting weights, that was a $2,000 fine. If you were a pitcher and they caught you lifting weights, it was a $1,000 fine. And when the minimum salary is $6,000,
that's a big fine.
But he just over one winter, he just grew up, and that's when he could hit the ball 500 feet. That's foul. And let's find out who that big leaguer is. Can you guess him? AJ, born December 30th, 1976. One and two the count. He's 2 for 3 with a run scored. Oh, yes. Now make it 3 for 4. With a double, that's his 11th.
AJ takes this one up and out over the plate. He had stayed low and away and slices it down the line.
So here's Rios. He's had 3 good at bats, 2 hits. Breaking ball stays inside. He singles up the middle in the first. He doubled into right center in the third. Then in the fifth, infield was playing back. 0-2 the count, and he got the run in. Picking up his 15th ribby. Make it 16 right here. Get that run back. Fastball strike. Watch out, Coxie.
You know, he might be weighted down a little bit because he lost all that weight. He won a great deal of money.
Yeah.
He split it with a lot of the clubhouse guys. Very nice of him, but he lost well over 25 pounds.
In 5 weeks.
Pretty good. Now, there is a catch to that, though.
As he strikes him out. We have a couple of hits, can't score. We're into the 8th, leading 5-3. As we're in the top of the 8th inning, Chris Sale on the bump. Got Barton, Suzuki, and Sizemore. Derek is 0 for 3. Now make it 1 for 4. Jumped all over that 97-mile-an-hour fastball. And let's go back retro to the 70s and the White Sox, and poof, who is this?
Good-looking unis.
There's that curveball.
Geez, there's a surprise. It threw a curveball.
There's another one. You can see the good bite on it. Whoa, now. Show me how to pitch up. All right, a pitching change as Chris Sale will depart, and we'll be back.
Brian Bruni, who comes on with a 4.50 ERA, on for the 5th time. He inherits a base runner at first base, and he'll face a tying run. I was with the White Sox twice, here in 1973 and again in 77-78. And that Southside Hitmen of 1977 was entertaining and as exciting a year as I can remember. We had the lead over Kansas City for a long time, and then it just dissolved as the Royals made a great stretch run.
And right here, Brian Bruni on in relief of Chris Sale. Bruni, the third Sox pitcher. They have the leadoff man and Derek Barton at first base, and here's Suzuki. Takes first pitch strike. Well, that turned out to be some kind of a rivalry towards the end of the season with the Sox and Kansas City.
Oh, yeah, for a long time. I mean, when both teams were decent, that was a great rivalry.
One and one to count. Suzuki has struck out, lined very hard to Morel, who made a good catch, and gone out to right field.
The Kansas City team had one of your favorite players ever leading the way.
Well, he's my all-time favorite player to watch, George Brett.
Oh, was he some hitter?
Big player. He played the game exactly the way it was supposed to be played.
They had Amos Otis, Cal McRae,
Willie Wilson. There's a good strike to even the count at 2.
Grant Balfour loosening up in the bullpen. You had a shot at him.
The thing about that team, though, is that they were very competitive. I mean, they played hard.
Well, you didn't want to spend too much time around the second base bag when any one of them came in there.
Especially
McRae and Brett, they would kill you.
Tried to sneak that one by him at 95. Bruni running it up there. And a full count. We don't need any walks. Sizemore on deck. Sizemore's 2 for 3 and has hit the ball hard all 3 times.
And Matt Thornton is ready to go. He's standing there. He's already loosened up, but he's still up in the pen.
There goes the runner. There's a strike him out. That'll be a stolen base. Number 2 for Barton. And a big out. So here's Sizemore. Outfield. For the most part, straight up and spread out. And there's a strike. Close, didn't get it, and the count 2-1. Right side, and that's going to be a souvenir. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, and a reminder, Wednesday, June 22nd at 7:10 p.m. Our Chicago White Sox take on the Cubs, presented by United. United, proud to fly the Chicago White Sox. So for tickets, call 866-SOX-GAME or visit whitesox.com. And, of course, that is the domain of Mark Seipel, Sparky, Mike Corrigan, and the crew do such a great job.
2-2 pitch. It's full.
Jemiah Weeks in the on-deck circle.
Payoff. Didn't need that.
Especially with Weeks swinging the bat as well as he can. And so here comes Ozzie. Thornton's going to come into the game. Bruni is going to depart. And we'll be back. Oh and 3, but the ERA just dropped under 5. On for the 24th time. Throwing the ball a whole lot better the last 3 times out. And he inherits some problems. Runners at first and second. A 2-run lead. And he's going to face Jemiah Weeks, who's going to turn around and hit from the right side. He's 3 for 6 as a right-hand hitter. And apparently he was using the left-handed helmet.
Mile triple, leading off the 3rd inning, and scored. Had an infield single in the 4th and went out to Juan Pierre to end the 6th. So 1 out, 2 on, 5-3 White Sox. Paulie, well, that's another Doc Edwards shot right there. Woo! Yes, 2 down.
First ball, fastball. Weeks can't get much of it.
It's a good thing he's got those gloves on.
Doesn't go real far.
Those fingernails would have been flying. So here's Crisp. He's 1 for 4. And make it 1 for 5. Matt Thornton comes on, throws 2 pitches, gets out of it. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th, leading 5-3. Matt's back.
And it's 2 more with these Athletics. And then a day off on Monday. We head to Minnesota to take on the feisty Twins, who are struggling. And then it's the Diamondbacks in Arizona, and the Diamondbacks are playing good baseball. That's our Felco upcoming schedule. And the probables for the weekend. It's Gio Gonzalez against Johnny Danks in a good matchup tomorrow. Then on Sunday, Moscoso and Umber. Bill Umber throwing the ball better than anybody around. ERA 2.87, looking for his 6th win. And we got Grant Balfour, who comes into the game. Balfour 3-1, ERA 2.81, out for the 27th time. Just one of the guys that got away from that Tampa Bay bullpen. Bullpen they had to completely reconstruct, but which also got them 10 draft picks out of the first 60 picks.
All right, here we go. Bottom of the 8th inning, 5-3, Sox on top. 5-12-0 for our guys, 3-11-1 for their guys. Adam Dunn, 1 for 2 with an RBI. Had a big 2-out RBI in the 5th inning. Yankees have just defeated the Indians 11-7.
So they stayed 2 games in back of Boston. And with Detroit losing, the Indians losing, there is ground to be gained.
And that ball hammered. 94, foul. And that's outside. Takes it up, 2-2. And we want to welcome all the viewers who are watching that Cub game. They lost 7-5. As that's fouled back. Right here, 5 runs, 12 hits, no errors for our White Sox. 3 runs, 11 hits, 1 error for the A's. A's on a 10-game losing streak. Sox trying to make it 11 for them. And a reminder, make your plans to be with us here at the ballpark tomorrow night. Johnny Danks against Gio Gonzalez. Our just turned 26-year-old southpaw against their 25-year-old left-hander. If you can't make it, that game will be over WGN. The Aussie doesn't have that many pitches. I'm thinking the same thing.
He's having a very good year.
Where did the wipes go? Bring back the wipes.
You know, there's some guys, I think I saw 1 or 2 guys do it, and that's it.
Just underneath it. There's what you call a major league pop-up right there. Watch out, that's liable to just drive in like a tent peg.
Major league pop-up. Fastball right down the middle at 93. Gets under it.
So here's Beckham. Gordon 0 for 3 tonight, a couple of strikeouts. Takes outside, ball 1. And if you're just tuning in, Seattle beat Detroit 3-2. Texas leading Minnesota 9-3, going to the 8th inning up at the Target Center in Minneapolis. And that's popped up. Barton. Two down. 2 out to Brent Morrell. Brent 1 for 3. Doubled into right center field, leading off the second inning. One hop the fence. Boston beat Toronto 5-1 up in Canada. Breaking ball strike. For the A's in their half of the ninth inning, it'll be Pennington, Jackson, and Willingham. Second, third, and fourth place hitters. Oh, 0-2 the count. Now Ford got our number. We can't do anything with him. Sports News Nightly on GMC Sportsnet Central. Coming up tonight after Postgame Live, we sit down with Bears CEO George McCaskey, plus a look around the major leagues. So join Pat and Gail for GMC Sportsnet Central tonight after Postgame Live, only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Sergio Santos comes on to try to nail it down. Sergio 2-2, ERA 2.10, on for the 25th time, looking for his 12th save. Got 35 strikeouts in 30 innings. He's going to start with the tough part of the batting order with a guy who's having a big night, Cliff Pennington.
In the last 28 games, hitting close to 330. He's got 2 doubles tonight and a single. First pitch strike. 5-12-0 for us, 3-11-1 for them. Just 1 home run in the game if you're just tuning in. That a 2-run shot by Paul Konerko back in the first inning. So that means that this is the 9th consecutive game he's had an extra base hit. Oh yeah, pull the string on him. Changing speeds right there, 0-2. But that breaks the White Sox franchise record. Paul was tied with Al Simmons, who did 8 straight back in 1935. He gone.
Good slider, and Pennington didn't know that ball got away from A.J. Doubtful if he'd have made it anyway, but can't make it walking back to the dugout.
Big out. And you can organize a group outing of 20 or more during the season. Purchase a block of tickets or enhance your outing with one of 6 great party areas. That's the Bertucci boys out there, and they'll party with you. Call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com. Jackson takes the one away. He pinch hit for Sweeney back in the 7th inning. Grounded out the 2nd, but that knocked in a run. Good rip at that one. Meanwhile, the count 1-1. Outfield straight up, spread out. Quick breaking slider.
This becomes a real big out because you do have their one bona fide home run hitter in the lineup in the on-deck circle.
And that's a can of corn. 2 down. So here's Willingham. Right by him.
.95 and 96, and now it's time for the put-away slider. Use 2 of them if you have to, but he's not going to hit him if he throws them where he wants to.
A ball, 2 strikes, 2 out here in the top of the 9th. 5-3, good guys. Close.
Well, just barely laid off that one. And that didn't miss by that much.
Watch out.
That was a slider that slid over his head.
Matsui on deck. The payoff pitch. So the 2-out walk will bring up the dangerous Hideki Matsui, who is 1 for 3 tonight. And this is where he has been a star in his career in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings. this ball club, the last guy you want to see in this situation. First pitch strike.
We threw it where he wanted to on the outside corner. Our Bank of America pitch tracks to see where the one appears. Perfect pitch. Keep it out there and force him to stay in the ballpark by going either to center or left center.
Yeah, from middle in, he is real dangerous. They got the shift on.
Throw him a changeup. And Morel can play more of a straightaway shortstop because he's not concerned with Jackson taking third.
Well, he's got right. He was right in the middle. That's where he should be. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And that's a base hit. So Willingham will score, and it's a 5-4 ball game. The 2-out walk comes around.
We'll see if we see a pinch runner for Matsui. I would think you would. And we are. David DeJesus is coming on to pinch run. This is a slider. RBI number 23. And it pulls him within 1.
So here's Barton. He's 1 for 4. Takes low ball 1. Fastball strike at 95.
DeJesus does not have a stolen base this year.
Two and 1 to count for the 25-year-old first baseman. Oakland trying to break a 10-game losing streak.
And when they're first under Bob Melvin. Close but off the plate. Bank of America pitch tracks will show you where it is. Watch the 4 appear. That one just backed up and missed.
Three-one pitch. So the second walk of the inning. And that'll bring up Suzuki, and here comes Don Cooper. And while they're talking things over out there, I want to thank all the people back at the studio and all the guys down in the truck. Just a wonderful effort in putting on 70s night. Doing a lot of work to get those clips, and
not to mention assembling the disco ball and the guys in the truck.
Well, it took a long time to get that one.
You're not kidding.
Piece by piece.
Well, those guys are terrific, and Nicole took care of Mike Leary's hairdo. That's his real hair. His wife just puffed it out for him.
So here we go. 2 on, 2 out. 5-4 Sox, and another tough customer at the plate, Suzuki. He's 0 for 4 tonight. Two walks this inning. They only have 1 hit. He struck out Pennington. Got Jackson to go out to center. Then he walked Willingham. He went to second on indifference and scored on Matsui's base hit, as that was a good pass by Suzuki just underneath it. Now he walked Barton.
He got a fastball right down the middle. Bank of America pitch tracks. Well, they don't get any more center cut than that.
And the count 1-2. Be ready, AJ.
Well, he's throwing him 2 straight fastballs right down the middle.
He's going to try to punch him out with that slider. AJ's got to be on his toes.
I would think it'd be forthcoming. He just can't come through it tonight, and he's hanging him high. Fortunately, yeah, fortunately that one was inside. Tries to throw it low and away. Comes up there spinning inside.
This is the pitch you want to try, whatever it is. You got your best fastball, your best slider right here. That ball looked like it was going to hit him.
It wasn't exactly his changeup. Looked like a 2-seamer that just followed him inside. I don't know with one hand how he was able to get the bat on it. Look at the movement on that one.
He just has no idea with that slider tonight. So that'll load him up. Two walks and a hit batsman.
Some nights you just don't have the release point. Tying him go-ahead run in scoring position.
Here's Sizemore. He's been swinging the bat extremely well tonight. He's hit it hard 3 times. He's 2 for 3 with a walk. And he knows what he's going to get, but it's down low. This is when a hitter, even in a big situation like this, can just salivate a little bit. He's been sitting there watching what's going on. He knows what's coming.
AJ's going out to calm him down. Sergio's got no release point for the slider. Gerald Perry, the hitting coach, to the right of Bob Melvin.
So here we go. 1-0 the count. That ball hit hard. That ball is really hit hard. Well, when you know what's going to be there. So 3 runs will score, and it's a 7-5 Oakland lead. Well, when you walk 2 and hit 1,
you know fastball's coming. Just a question just a question of sitting back, waiting for it in the zone. That ball middle in, and Sizemore hits the daylights out of it. He's been swinging the bat with authority all night long. Those are his first 3 runs batted in, and he crushes that ball.
This is not good. Want to know the count to Weeks. He's 2 for 4. It'll be the top of the order for our guys in the bottom of the 9th. Pierre, Ramirez, Quentin, Konerko, AJ, Rios, and hopefully that might get it done. Change up. All this coming with 2 out, nobody on. 4 runs, 2 out, nobody on. The walk to Willingham on a 3-2 pitch. Matsui, the single. The walk to Barton. Suzuki was hit on a 2-2 count. Then a 1-0 fastball by Sizemore drill for the bases clearing double. Wow. Two and 2. Yeah, when you know a fastball's coming, it's really not that hard to hit it. Another changeup and a full count. The Weeks, 8th hitter to come to the plate here in the 9th.
That's a lot of pitches in just 1 inning. About to deliver his 38th. And here comes Ozzie. Sergio Santos does not get the job done. And Lucas Harrell, who was recently recalled, comes into the game and will step out and be back. Lucas Harrell, making his second appearance for the Sox this year. I'm going to give you his numbers at AAA Charlotte, where he started mostly. And the one game with the Sox. So he inherits 2 athletics on base. Trying to get out of this nightmarish ninth with Coco Crisp, the 9th man, to come to bat.
Well, with 2 out, nobody on, they only have 2 hits and they score 4 runs and still have the inning going. 3 walks, a hit batsman. And here is the 9th hitter to come to the plate. And that's out of play left side. Change up down low. 7-13-1 for them, 5-12-0 for us. Another change up. Looks like Coco is all over Lucas. That's the way he's taking the ball. Got to make a good pitch. And he did. Two and two. Gonna make another one. He gone. But a whole bunch of damage is done with just 2 hits. They score 4 times. We trail at 7-5. Game Live. Watch highlights and get analysis from Chuck and Bill. Plus, go live to Ozzy's postgame remarks. Don't miss Galaxy White Sox postgame live immediately following the game on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Andrew Bailey comes into the game. He was put on the disabled list out of spring training with a strained forearm. Since he's been back, this is his 5th appearance. He does not have a save. He's had just 1 opportunity. After being an All-Star the last 2 years, Bailey just now getting the stuff back after a long stint on the DL.
All right, boys, if they can do it, we can do it. Let's go. We need 2 to tie. Pierre, he's due. He's due. He's 0 for 4 tonight. Takes ball 1. And the count evens at 1. Sizemore in on the grass at third. Outfield short, swung around to the left. And the count 2-1. Don't help him out. Four runs in the top of the ninth with 2 out, nobody on. Martin will make that play for route number 1. So here is Alexei. He's 1 for 4. Come on, Alexei, start us off, buddy. That one at 95. That a boy.
Well, Bailey was right the last couple of years, and last year he was hurt part of the season. There's not too many guys around much tougher.
That ball hammered into left field, but they got a man there, Willingham, for out number 2. So it's up to Quinn to keep it going. Takes ball 1. That a boy. He did not go. The 2-0 pitch. There's a strike. And when that ball comes down, this is going to be a bummer. A bad beat tonight for our Sox as we had a 5-3 lead going to the ninth. Stoney 2 out, nobody on, and they only get 2 hits, but they score 4 runs.
No control by Sergio tonight. Come back to haunt him. The first win for Bob Melvin. Knowing that there was ground to be gained and not getting it makes this one doubly tough, but we'll come back tomorrow and get him down.
There you go. And let's check out our GMC player of the game. It is Scott Sizemore getting 3 hits tonight. That bases clearing double on a 1-0 fastball. Just killed it into left center field. Our GMC player of the game. So for my partner, Steve Stone, our director Jim Angier, our producer Mike Leary, our associate producer Dave Ross, our technical manager Mark Harper, the executive producer Jim Corno Jr., and for the mayor, me and Joe Goob, and up here in the booth, Mike Mayor and Frank D'Amato. This is the Hall. So long.